Hello, everyone, and welcome to Social Media Marketing World Networking Tips. We're so excited to be here today with Phil Mershon, the Director of Events for Social Media Marketing World, Downtown Rob, our Ambassador of Everything San Diego and Downtown, and Jillian's going to pop in and out for us and share some great tips on networking as well. I'm Brandy Sweezy. I am the host of and producer of this particular Hangout. I just wanted to give you a couple clues is that it is about 45-second to 1-minute delay on what we're saying and what you're hearing. So go ahead and be sure to be posting your questions below and get all of the best tips for getting the most out of your social media marketing world experience. I'm going to turn it over to Phil now. Welcome, Phil.
All right, thank you very much, Brandy. Love your enthusiasm. Everybody, I am now in San Diego, sitting in one of the hotel rooms at the Hyatt, and it's a beautiful day in San Diego. I think Rob can attest. It's already around 60 degrees. It's going to be sunny. The water looks great. We're looking forward to seeing you. Something interesting, if you're a basketball fan, this hotel right now is housing hundreds of people who've come to watch NCAA basketball. I thought that on how to make the most of your experience at Social Media Marketing World. And we're going to also talk about networking. Networking at in-person events is a different thing than social networking online. And so I've got Rob Marlborough and Jillian Vorche, two of our networking ambassadors here, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about how that works. And so, Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you right now and ask you a question. When you go to in-person events, especially something like this event where you're with social media marketers, how do you prepare yourself to make the most of it?
Initially, I'm always following the event hashtag on Twitter, and I will proactively reach out to people, at the very least following quite a few people that are attending, and then a lot of people go so far as to make lists of attendees, and then they have a real targeted list of who's actually there. A lot of people can put a name to a face that way because you sort of already seen their bio and maybe their photo and all that kind of good stuff. And then I'll actually go and do some tweets to a couple of people that seem interesting or whatever ahead of time. And that way when we meet, we already sort of have this online experience that we want to then take offline, and now we're having drinks at the hotel lobby already, and then after that, then we become Facebook friends, not before.
Gotcha. We've got a couple tools that we're using for this event. I don't know if you've used any of them yet. The LinkedIn group, the Visibo mobile app, as well as the Facebook event page. What would you be doing with some of those tools right now as you get ready for next Wednesday when everyone arrives?
Yeah, I'm going through the Visibo app and checking out the different profiles on the phone, and then it's real great. It's a great way to get in contact with people. It sort of has a connect with that person right within the app, which is kind of cool, and it's all tied in through LinkedIn as well. So that's more of a nice businessy connection. So that's great. So yeah, I think just getting familiar with who's attending and find people that you're looking to meet and network with, and then at every event I've ever been to, there's a lot of let's meet here after this session or whatever, and we meet even for 5 minutes and just shake hands or say hello, and then keep on moving that way, and pretty soon at the end of the night you have a group of people that want to get together and talk about a certain topic and stuff. So that's where I think the networking tables that I know are on the agenda are going to come into play there. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. Jillian, I know you're here with us. I'd like to at least give everyone a chance to meet you. Tell me one of your insider tips on what you do when you're getting ready to go to an in-person conference.
I agree with what Rob said. I do a lot with Twitter as well, and the LinkedIn group has been great. I've also begun using the Visibo app, which is great. Another thing I think is going into it, having a plan for an idea of who I want to meet, who I'm looking to meet, because it gives me some direction. So that's one thing. Also, going into it, I like to be prepared in what I'm going to do once I meet those people. Is there any follow-up? How am I going to want to connect with them? Am I going to look for their business card? Am I going to have a Twitter list set up? What am I going to do once I meet them? So that's just one idea. Is helpful to go. It can be overwhelming if you just go there and think, oh, I'll just meet who's around. Nice to be open to that, but ultimately having a plan of action or kind of targets people that you want to meet in particular industries and particular geographies or what have you, or certain people, speakers and so forth. So having an idea of the people that you want to meet ahead of time is pretty helpful. I don't know if that's something you're looking for, Phil.
Absolutely. No, that's excellent. Someone asked the question yesterday, how many business cards should I bring to this event? What are your guys' thoughts on business cards, and are they important at a social media event, or should we just be relying on our social media presence? Go ahead, Jillian, you start.
I'm curious what Rob has to say about this. It's funny. It's one of those things, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. I don't usually hand out business cards. I collect business cards, or better yet, I usually just have, put folks' information directly into my phone and tag them myself. But it depends on the person. I think there's something to be said for a tangible card, right? It's a visual connection. It's something you're holding. You can do a little smiley face on it or something like this. So I think that there is still a use for business cards for sure, but some people it's quick to just go right away via Twitter, which is actually how Rob and I met. We met in person at a previous event. That's what we did. We jumped on Twitter right away and connected that way. So I think either. I mean, I don't know that you want to carry a big box, up on your shoulder like a boom box of business cards. I don't really know you want to do that, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a magic number for how many, but I think a blend of the two. I don't know. What's your sense, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Sadly, little pieces of paper still have a place in the world for most people. I collect business cards.
Yeah.
And they sit on my desk waiting for me to do something with them. I will put them back on my desk. I don't really do anything with them actively unless there's an active need. I do use Card Munch, which is the LinkedIn app that scans a business card and then enters it in. But I honestly, once it's in Card Munch, don't do much with it even then unless there's an active need to contact that person. I do a lot more. I guess it's just me and the events I go to, a lot more social media connections, Twitter. I can do a lot of Facebook messaging. I close a lot of business on Twitter and Facebook just through that communication. So cards are less important, although I do have, so QRC codes are super lame, but I have a big old QRC code on my card because this one doesn't require an internet connection. It scans directly into your phone as a contact, and I don't have to give out the card. They can just scan it, and then I keep the card, and they've already got my contact info. So that was one way to get it directly into somebody's phone. And the other one, I have a Downtown Rob card. I call this the fun card. It's super glossy, and people really like the design of it or whatever. And so this one is more of a, if I'm doing event promotions and that kind of stuff, I hand out this card, and it creates a lot of attention that way too. So, but
yeah, that's great tip, Jillian. I know you need to go. I'm going to give you a chance if you want to make any parting comments. And then we'll obviously see you next week at the event. Do you have anything you'd like to share as a closing tip?
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. I've been chatting with a lot of folks coming from all over the world, so I can't wait to get down there. I mean, aside from the fact I'm coming from Boston, it's like 10 degrees outside. It's, but aside from that, I'm really excited to go. I've been, laying the groundwork and chatting with a lot of folks via Twitter and all the different platforms we've spoken of already. So I'm looking forward to making the in-person handshake, so to speak. I know that there's been a significant amount of work that's been going into behind the scenes to make this a really effective conference for people in the way of content and connection. So I'm looking forward to doing my part and playing a role. So certainly if folks want to connect with me ahead of time, my Twitter handle is @JillianVorce, VORCE. So I'm happy to connect with folks there ahead of time, and otherwise for the good old-fashioned in-person handshake as soon as we touch down in San Diego. So thanks for the opportunity to be here, and sorry I had to jump off soon. I apologize for that.
I'm glad you can be here, and may the Vorce be with you.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. See? I've never heard that before, Phil. That was so
I'm
clever.
sure no one has ever said that.
it's a hashtag.
That's an easy way to remember it.
See, and there you go. I appreciate
cool.
that. So we'll see everybody in San Diego. So thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, at this point, I'd like to share a couple of tips with you all. and we'd like to talk through a couple of things that are going to be happening at the event. And so Rob is going to help me digest some of these things that are available for all of you at the event. First of all, we're going to have an opening night party on the Midway. Rob, talk a little bit about the Midway and what's so cool about it.
Yeah, so the Midway is the USS Midway. It's an aircraft carrier. And I don't have the super historical details, how many wars it was in and where it was used, but it's a real aircraft carrier with, it's turned into a museum, and so now you can actually come aboard the Midway. Below the flight deck, they have flight simulators that you can get into. There's a little cafe in the back, and then they do offer audio tours of the inner workings of the Midway, where as you stop at each stop, it has an audio clip for that area, and you can see the crew's bunks, how tiny they were, and the chef's kitchen, how tiny that was, and just how everything is on the Midway. And then on the deck itself, it's an open air deck, so it's going to be probably pretty windy since we're on the bay. So just keep that in mind as you dress for that opening night party. Make sure you bring a nice looking jacket, and it will be awesome. I did the Uber grand opening on the USS Midway a while back, and it was a really good venue for having events. And they do have actual aircraft on the flight deck, so you can see some of the types of aircraft that used to be on that aircraft carrier as well. So it's a exciting venue, super unique to San Diego. We're kind of a military town, and so having that as a museum here and using it for parties and that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah, a couple of things that we're going to have going on that ship. I want to show you guys something here. On the cruise, or on the Midway, we're going to be playing this game called Networking Bingo.
Yes.
And Networking Bingo is something we did last year, and Rob, maybe you can talk about it in a second here, but what the idea behind this game is to find 16 people, ideally that you don't already know, who meet different criteria that are on this card. For example, someone who owns stock in Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, or someone who works in higher education, or someone who's I forget all the ones that we put on there, but those are the kinds of things that we have. And so it gives you an instant chance to meet a bunch of people, and a few people will win a cool prize. How did that help you last year, Rob?
It was great fun. You get to, it's kind of the icebreaker, where you get to walk up to people and rudely interrupt them if you like, and ask, you know, hey, I'm looking for this person and I only need one more to win, can you help me out, and that kind of stuff, and people get behind you, and you know, I've even had people introduce me to somebody that they met 5 minutes ago that had what I was looking for, so it's a great way to sort of bond together behind some sort of an effort and try and win the game. It's good. I've been to other events where, you know, they give you like dog tags or something, and you're trying to find somebody with the same number as you. Super not fun because there's only like one of the, and it's just not as much fun as networking bingo. Bingo is a great way to go, and the subjects that they've got on the cards are great as well. So
cool. So, and then another thing that we're going to do this year is we've got these cool stickers that we're putting on name badges that help you to identify up to 10 different categories that you might have interest in. And when we say interest, it may mean I'm an expert in this, and so I'd love to talk to people about this, or it might mean I'm interested in learning more about it. So, for example, I'm a blogger, so I would love to talk to other bloggers. I'm an aspiring podcaster, but I haven't started one, so maybe I would like to talk to other podcasters and find out about what they're doing. And I am B2B. I'm here to help other businesses learn how to use social media. So I might put those 3 stickers on my name badge. Rob, talk about how you think that might be a helpful way to get conversation started with people.
Yeah, the interest bag stickers are great. I've been to other events where I slap on a WordPress, or even other events where they have hiring and different kinds of stuff. So this one really focuses on the subjects around social media marketing world and who's attending. And so you'll get to meet, if you're looking for other people that are doing podcasting, for example, and you want to meet some other podcasters and talk to them more about, get their experience, then so you look for the podcasting badge. Looking for bloggers, the B2B and B2C badges are great. You can meet some brands that are looking for consumers or looking for the B2B angle. So it's a real great way to sort of meet specifically who you're looking for, and it's fun to, I try not to put on too many stickers, but it's fun to look for people that have the most stickers and see what's going on with them.
I agree. Interest groups, and those are going to be during lunch on Friday. Are you hearing me, guys, right now?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, but I hear you now.
Yeah, it feels like I'm cutting in and out a little bit. I'm going to have to get a different connection for this afternoon. During lunch on Friday, we're going to have interest group meetups that people have identified on these name badges. People are going to have a chance to gather with other bloggers or other corporate marketers or other people in higher education, all in the same room, so that you're not trying to sift through the crowd and find those people, but everyone's congregating around that interest for an hour on Friday, and so you'll make sure you've connected with quite a few of those folks. How do you think that's helpful at a large event like this, Rob?
I think the interest groups is great. It's just another way to bring people together under certain topics and meeting the people that you really want to meet. There's a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of different people, and so it can get a little overwhelming if there's no focus. And so the interest groups bring that into focus, I think, really well.
Uh-oh, I think I lost Phil again. Did we lose Phil again? Phil, are you there?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm cutting in and out, so...
There you go. You're back.
If you guys don't hear me, just keep it going.
Okay.
The hotel promised me that the Wi-Fi was going to be good enough because they didn't have any Ethernet cables for me, and apparently that's not the case. So hopefully this isn't a sign of what's going to happen next week with Wi-Fi, but I'm glad I'm here, and we can get this fixed now before everyone shows up.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about a couple other things that we've got built into the schedule, and then we'll take some questions from our listeners here. On Thursday at lunch, we're going to have these table talks, and that's different from the interest groups in that these are 10 topics that people have identified through surveys that are kind of the burning topics, things they really want to go deeper on, they want to learn about. We're creating a spot Thursday during lunch where people can talk about things like advertising, things like measurement and ROI, or, again, talking about content creation for video marketers or for graphics. Have you seen that done at other events, and how do you find that to be helpful?
Can you repeat the question again? You cut out during the first part there. You there?
Did you not hear any of that?
I didn't hear. I heard only. Did I not hear any of that? Sorry, it's cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Try it once more.
And we lost him again. Okay, so note to everybody, never ever use hotel Wi-Fi. Even if hotel Wi-Fi says it is the best thing on the planet, it is in fact not. So if you're doing any kind of mobile broadcasting next week, I went and picked up a handy-dandy hotspots. Hotspots work really well and will have the bandwidth. When you are in a hotel networking, understand that like big, huge hotels with public Wi-Fi are probably going to take a little bit of a hit. So if you really have like uploading to do or things like that, I would look for some different alternatives, because a lot of hotels, when there's that many social media people in one place at one time, think of different alternatives. Even if it's just like walking the block over to a Starbucks and using that might be a little bit better, because that many social media people on one Wi-Fi is going to you're going to see some bandwidth issues for sure. So, yeah, I went for this event alone. I went and invested in a hotspot, because I was like, "There's no way." 2,000 people on Wi-Fi. I don't care what they've got going on over there. There's going to be some lag time, so don't get frustrated when that happens. That's just one of the other solutions that you can do. Let's see if Phil's back now. Phil, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay, there we go.
I may be investing in a hotspot myself between now and the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
They promised me that there was plenty of bandwidth given the account that I have, but obviously they're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know AT&T has really good coverage down there. I have a hotspot built into my iPhone, so I use that all the time. The LTE coverage is really fast.
Cool. Well, did you guys hear me say anything about Table Talks?
No.
Only the beginning.
Okay. Well, go to socialmediaexaminer.com/Table Talks, and you can see a description of what those are. But we've got 10 topics, and those are going to be the topics that we'll be talking about. Are you losing me now, too?
Nope.
Okay. Keep nodding and letting me know. I can't tell when I'm dropping out and when I'm not.
When I'm staring at the camera.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So we've got topics like advertising, ROI, as well as blogging and graphics, and a number of topics. And on Thursday at lunch, you'll have a chance to sit down and talk to folks about things that you're interested in. Power walks. Rob, we're going to be doing 6 a.m. power walks, and I had someone who was surprised to hear that you might show up for those, because they said more likely to see Rob at 4 a.m. doing a power walk before he's gone to sleep as opposed to 6 a.m. But tell me, why would someone want to do that, and how would that be a helpful way to start the day?
Yeah, so actually Mike and Jillian and I decided that Jillian is heading those up. I will try and make one of those, but 6 a.m. is tough for me if I'm networking late into the evening. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, they are great fun. You get to meet at a designated spot and then do a walk. They try and keep it around a mile, they were talking about, which is not that far. You're walking and it's a nice pace or whatever. You get to enjoy the cool bay breeze of San Diego, and you'll get to see some good parts of the downtown city around here as well. There's a great loop around right behind Seaport Village, a nice park, and a lot of interesting trees, and you get to watch you can see Coronado from across the bay, that kind of stuff. So it's a great opportunity to get out and enjoy the fresh air, and also while you're walking, meet some people that are interested in getting up early and having those kind of chats. So that's nice. Well,
we've got a lot of East Coasters coming, people who are on a different time zone, and so that's not going to feel quite so early to those of us. Like, I'm from the Midwest, so 6 a.m. is 8 o'clock for me. I've been up for hours by that time.
Exactly.
Whereas a West Coaster or some of our Aussies who are coming over may have a different experience.
Yeah.
That's one thing everyone who's listening is very interesting about social media marketing world. About 15% of the people coming are coming from outside the U.S., 50 or more from Canada, but the rest are coming from outside of North America. And it's really pretty exciting how many are coming from Europe, the Middle East, the Far East, Australia, Latin America, Africa, literally all over. And so you'll have a chance to meet people who are trying to figure this social media marketing stuff out for different regions, different kinds of businesses. It's a very diverse crowd. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let me talk about the cruise. Did you go on the cruise last year, Rob?
I did go on the cruise last year. It's a great cruise.
So we're going to pack it out. weather permitting. We've got 1,000 people RSVP'd. There's room for 1,000, and so it's going to be full as the Coast Guard will let us be. We've got karaoke lined up again, social karaoke, which is going to just be a lot of fun to hear some of your peers, some of the speakers make a fool of themselves, and we've got some pretty talented people as well. We've got a guy who has been on American Idol and went pretty far, who's going to sing again.
Nice.
We've got another gal who's singing who could be on American Idol and do very well. So I know there's some talent, but then there's also just people who, when they're lubed up a little bit, will have fun. But what would you do differently preparing for the cruise this year from what you did last year? Is there anything that you'd suggest, Rob?
Well, so last year it is 3 levels. There's 3 decks on this ginormous, nice yacht. And so my thing last year was we were sort of hovering in the middle deck and didn't really move around a lot. It's where the karaoke was, and it's where the food was, and the bar was, and so we were doing a lot of just hovering in the middle deck there. But do explore the 3 decks, because we did find out, we were looking for a lot of people, found out there was a group congregated on the top deck, and so once I made it up to the top deck later on, I realized I should have been up there a lot sooner. So I would definitely explore the ship and find a group of peeps that you're looking for, but definitely enjoy the food and enjoy the karaoke. I tweeted out an Instagram photo and sort of looped in Chris Rogan for karaoke, and so he replied saying that he's heard that he's going to be doing karaoke, so I look forward to that.
Well, we hope so. I'm not sure if Chris will be there or not, but it's going to be fun. Yeah. We are shifting it around this year, and we're going to move the karaoke to the bottom floor so that the main floor, where everyone tended to congregate, can be just that, more of a congregating place. We'll have some nice background music going on from a duo here in San Diego, but it's going to be totally more ambiance kind of stuff. Cool, but ambiance, and then karaoke will be downstairs. You'll have a chance to sign up, and based on what I've seen on LinkedIn and Facebook, there's a lot of interest in that. So.
It was a great hit last year. It was a lot of fun, even just to watch. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think those are the main ways that we've baked networking into the event. There's a lot of opportunities to get yourself ready, doing like Jillian said, come in with a plan, know who you're looking for, see the opportunities on the list. You can make appointments in advance with people. Certainly you know what sessions to go to, but I know there's going to be a lot of people who will buy the recording pass just so they don't feel compelled to go to every session that they want to go to, and can take advantage of the chance meetings that they might have out in the hallway. And you'll see a lot of those. There's a lot of great places to sit down and have conversations with people all over the building. Rob, you're downtown, Rob. You know kind of the area.
No, you're cutting out.
Yeah, we lost you again, Phil. Yeah. You're still jumping a little bit, so we're not hearing the question. I bet you Rob can figure out where you were going with that, though. Like, what are the fun things to do downtown? Downtown Rob, what are the fun things to do downtown? Even though we'll be busy with the event, most of the time, is there some kind of must-see while people are visiting San Diego?
Yeah, must-see downtown. There's some good, I would say top of the Hyatt comes to mind only because you're already in the Hyatt, and it is one of the best views of the city. It's at the... I think 34th floor. I can't remember the exact floor number, but it's up on the top of the hotel. And it's a nice lounge, bar, some great window seating all around the room. And so that's a great one to stop at. I would say there's a Seaport Village is a nice little village next to the bay there. And that's always nice to walk through with a bunch of little shops and everything. But there's a new, the headquarters is what it's called, is a new little shopping center right outside of Seaport Village, kind of between the Hyatt and Seaport. And there's a bunch of new restaurants in there. One is called Puesto, They are Eat Puesto on Twitter, and I know the owners. They're great food, double two-story venue there, so that's a great place to eat. And then there's also a Seasons 52, which is, if you've never been, is really good, nicely priced entrees, and really nice restaurant. And then outside of that, there's the Hard Rock Hotel, which is great to just walk through and see that kind of thing. And then there's Altitude, which is another great view of the city, is a bar on top of the Marriott and the Gas Center. So there's some great venues to check out. And I'll be tweeting up some after-party locations, I'm sure, if people want to meet up and figure out where you want to check out more.
Cool. Tuesday night, if you're already in town, we're going to be hanging out here at the hotel lobby bar at 8 o'clock, and if there's too many people, Rob, maybe you can lead some up to the top of the Hyatt.
Absolutely.
But there's supposed to be at least 200 people already in town Tuesday night staying here at the Hyatt. So 8 o'clock Tuesday night, Social Media Examiner staff will be down in the lobby, and we invite you to come join us if you're already here. If you're not, there will be after parties, I'm sure, every night after we get done at 11 o'clock. But it'll be that's going to be really great. Rob, the question I was going to ask you, Thursday night between the closing of the keynote and the cruise, we've got about a 2.5-hour gap. Do you have concerns for people that they'll be able to find a place to eat and get out to the ship in time, or what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, eating-wise, so right outside the Hyatt, I was talking about the headquarters. There are enough restaurants. There's 5 restaurants right in that square. Cheesecake Factory, Eddie V's is now open as well, which is a great seafood spot. There's an Italian place, the Seasons 52 and Puesto. So those are some great eats. There's also restaurants inside of Seaport Village that are really good. And then down more as you walk toward, that's just right next door to the Hyatt. There's also 2 restaurants in the Hyatt as well. Sally's on the Water is right behind the Hyatt. There's also a Joe's Crab Shack right behind the convention center, sort of off back behind the Hyatt. And there's a big restaurant in the Marriott next door. So there's literally within that sort of area, there's probably a dozen or more restaurants to be able to get some food. And they all won't be that busy. It's not a Friday or Saturday night. I think you'll be able to get some really good food in right before the cruise, no problem. There's also down near where the cruise boards, there's a Anthony's fish grotto or whatever right on the water. And between that and Seaport Village, there's a fish market, which is right on the bay and has some great food as well. So there's plenty of dining opportunities. I don't think it'll be a problem. They're all walking distance around there, so you'll be all set. Yeah.
And concierge at the hotel can help you get reservations if you want to make sure you get in and out, or there's a service called Open Table online that you can use that services many of those restaurants in the area. Just put the hotel's address in there. Ben O'Neill has asked a couple questions here. The power walks, where are they taking place? They're going to meet in the hotel lobby. So just 6 o'clock every morning, Thursday and Friday mornings, meet down there. And if you're a runner, there will be a running group in addition to the walking group. It's more informal because we know people run at different speeds. But I know Andrea Vall, one of our speakers, is preparing for a half marathon, and so she said she'll be out there, and anyone who wants to join her can do that. And then Colette has asked a question, where can I purchase the recording pass? The easiest answer I'm going to give you is to go to the info page, the attendee info page, and if you go to socialmediaexaminer.com/info, it'll take you right there, and on that page you'll see the recording pass special that we have for attendees only. That'd be the best idea that I've got for you. We also sent you an email yesterday that would have had that in there. Are there some more questions coming in, Brandy?
No, they love the restaurant tips. They love that we're testing the Wi-Fi prior to their arrival. So yeah, those were the 2 questions. You're getting all kinds of support, but those were the 2 questions.
Well, the good news is that the Wi-Fi in the room is run by a completely different company than the people running the Wi-Fi in the conference space, and we've gone over that 1,000 times to make sure that works. I trusted the guy when I called him this morning about the room, and obviously it didn't work. So, well, any closing tips, Rob, that you would like to pass on to people on how they might make the most of this event?
I would just say do a lot of stalking online and see who you want to meet ahead of time, and make it, like Julian said, make a game plan of who you're looking for. And then when you get here, just keep your eyes and ears open. If you recognize somebody from their avatar or something like that, don't mind, walk up and say hi to them. Everybody that I've at last year's event, super friendly people, no problems meeting anybody. So it's going to be a good time for sure.
I think so. And my one recommendation is come rested. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Well, try to get well if you're sick now. An event like this can drain you. You're going to be tempted to burn the candle at both ends, and that's probably appropriate, especially depending on what your goals are. But drink plenty of fluids if you're flying here so that you're taking care of yourself, because frankly, if you get sick, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you, and then that will you'll be disappointed when you go home.
Absolutely.
So, well, I think unless there are some more questions, we'll give it another 30 seconds if anyone wants to post in a question here. But if not, we look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday or earlier, Tuesday night if you're in town. But next Wednesday afternoon, registration will start at the hotel at 4 o'clock, and then we'll begin on the Midway at 7 o'clock. Buses will
I think we lost him again. Did we lose him again? Uh-oh, Phil, we lost you again. And he was going through, Rob, do you know the what he was talking about?
No.
No, lost it. All right. Well, maybe we'll hang out here for just another second or two and see if Phil comes back to us.
I was reading the question here.
Oh, yeah. I'm back. I see.
Okay, he's back.
I see you now.
There you go. Good.
Is there a compiled list somewhere of meetups and after pre-parties happening? So the after parties are all informal. We will send a note out about the Tuesday night party probably on Tuesday morning. The events that are happening within the structure of the event, that's all on that info page that I mentioned. But you can be guaranteed there will be people hosting parties that you can get invited to, or I don't know how they all will even be organized. Some of them will be informal, some of them will be formal. But my experiences last year, people just went to the bar after the official events were over, and were just hanging out.
Yeah, the hotel bar was the most popular place to hang out. It's just a natural, place to meet up. I will be tweeting if I hear of any good after parties with different groups of people, and if they're allowing me to invite others, I will be tweeting out locations, and so those usually pop up, and I usually just tweet them out, and it turns into a little mini flash mob of people sometimes. So we do that sometimes, but otherwise, it's going to be see how it goes and see where people want to go, and we just play it by ear.
And feel free to organize one yourself. I've seen on the Facebook page people who are organizing some gatherings for those who are already in town, coming from other parts of the world, and feel free to take the initiative and do that.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'm sorry, everyone, for the Wi-Fi problems that I'm having. That will be resolved by this afternoon. And Rob and Brandy, thank you for your help.
No worries. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you guys.
See y'all later.